Okay, hello. We're back with more Charlie Kirk death references. This time we're in John Wick 4 and we're going to be looking at this character's death. Okay, this character is called Killer Harkin. Okay, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, this is John Wick 4. Let's just look down here and let's look at his name. This is the character here. Where are we at? Scott Adkins is playing the character of Killer Harkin. Okay, he's a German dude. Okay, that's got a nightclub, and we're going to go look at this nightclub, and we're going to look at several little references in here, and this guy's death and the connection with Charlie Kirk. Okay, so the first thing to note before we even get on to where the scene and everything starts is I just wanted this close-up really, so you can really make out these teeth in here. He's got the grill, okay, the grill, just like we've seen with Jaws. Okay, Richard Keel, his death day is September the 10th, same as Charlie Kirk. Okay, so we've had this reference several times over now. Okay, but they're making the same reference with this character here. Okay, grill. So this scene starts, this is the nightclub where this is going to take place. This is this dude's nightclub. Okay, there is a reference here again to something we've talked about with Charlie Kirk. Not only is this a temple, yeah, this is a Greek temple like the Temple of Athena or the Temple of Diana. And remember, we've talked about this connection with the clock tower in Back to the Future with the numerology on the clock, connecting back to Charlie Kirk's birthday and Charles and Diana. Okay, the white wedding. This is the church. Charlie Kirk is the church. So this connection with the clock tower and Back to the Future and this style of Greco-Roman temples. Okay, super interesting, but it gets better than that, because this particular style of temple with the 8 pillars that you can see at the front here, we've talked about this before with Charlie Kirk as well, but just in a different guise. You might not be quite putting 2 and 2 together yet, but remember we did this decode. Let me show you the decode first. We did the $10 bill decode, okay, and if you recall, when Erica Kirk does the zip line in the Emerson Drive video, 1010 shows up on that zip line. If we draw a zip line in here on the $10 bill, okay, we've got the snake here, the snake eyes, okay, but if we draw the zip line in on the $10 bill and we put a target on here, so if we come up through the center of the dollar bill or through the center of the portrait here, we're going to get a target on Hamilton, okay, and that target is going to give us the place where the blood's going to come out on the neck right here. Okay, now don't forget that Hamilton himself was born in Charleston, and he was also died in a duel. Yeah, he was shot in a duel. Now at the end of this film, okay, at the end of the film, there is a duel that takes place and the baddie gets shot. Okay, bit of a hark back maybe to Barry Lyndon, that kind of idea. But anyway, a duel does take place in this film as well towards the end. Okay, anyway, I want to show you the other side of this bill here. Check this out. Oh, are we seeing something now? Oh, that won't let me draw on here. Okay, but are we seeing something? The 8-pillared temple here. Okay, the 8-pillared temple. Essentially the same style of building, okay, as what's on the back of the $10 bill. So already we've got connections where this thing is set to Charlie Kirk. Okay, now let's crack on with the actual scenes. So So in this scene, they're going to have a game of cards. Already we're talking about gambling, we're talking about Vegas. So we've got this nice connection back towards the Hoover Dam again, because later on in this scene, there's an awful lot of water flowing everywhere. Okay, a lot of references to the idea of the Hoover Dam breaking open. And if you recall, this actual same sort of fold exists in the $1 bill, and what you're ending up getting is right where this is occurring this is the water flowing over the dam here. Okay, this necktie. So it's the same with Washington on the dollar bill. This same fold exists, and it forms a dam here with water breaking over the top. Okay, so it's a super important reference, as Charlie Kirk thing, to the idea of the Hoover Dam breaking. Right. So let's just watch this scene. I'm just going to play it once. You can backtrack and replay it over and over again, but you're going to watch it. Keanu Reeves pick up a card. Remember the 1, yeah, Neo, the $1 bill. Neo, the 1. He's going to pick up a card and he's going to throw it at this killer Archon guy. Okay, Archon. Okay, watch this. Well, I didn't really throw it, he just sliced his neck, sorry. Okay, so there's our first neck wound right here. Now he's not dead yet, okay? So what we'll do is we'll move on to, again, if you just go to one of these scenes, you can watch the whole scene through yourself, and you're going to see, as they move through the nightclub, several different references, but this is the next scene. I've actually got it paused at the right place. We can back this up a little bit. You can see that he has just gotten, going backwards here, let me play this, he's going to get stabbed in the neck. Okay, so that's our second neck wound reference to this dude. Okay, but it gets better than that. They can't stop with it. Let me back this scene up. Let's just go 5 seconds. And what's going to happen here is this is the final neck wound for this dude. Okay, and what they're going to end up doing is, well, let's just... Now watch out, he's going... And as you can see, he just broke his neck there. Pile drived him straight into the steps here. And again, these steps, another reference to coming over the dam, okay, or the dam breaking. So that's all interesting. Well, let me show you a couple of more little bits in this scene. You can make out there's lots of water flowing in the background in all these shots. But Keanu himself has a little fall as well, and this is a 9/11 reference here. You're going to see him fall into ground zero, so let's just watch this. Note all the water flowing behind as well, like water coming over the dam. Okay, there he goes, over the dam. Okay, ground zero to be reborn again as well. Right, what else we got in here? This is actually another shot of him beating the snot out of the guy. And let's see, I might have this one on this spot just to show you the backdrop of the water. I think there's water flowing everywhere in this club. Okay, look at the colour changes there from red to the bluey green colours on the dollar bill. And I think somewhere down back in here as well we've got there's a nice little bit with him. I don't know, anyway, it doesn't really matter. There's actually a nice little part where he's actually sticking his head through a stream of water. So it's right here somewhere. So he's beating the snot out of him, and you'll notice this stream of water is very interesting as well, because Keanu's kind of right in the middle of this stream. This is like the mirror line. This is like the balance line between the two sides of reality. The portal between both sides of reality. Quite nice the way they did that. So the righteous man, okay, the balanced man. Anyway, enough with that. We're going to do some number jumps now because this is quite interesting with the numbers, and this is really why I'm doing the video, because I didn't want to lose all these tabs, liming out and remembering everything. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, without writing it all down. So, we're going to look at some of these actors. The first thing to note is Keanu Reeves. Let's remember, he's got the September the 2nd. Okay, now this 29 is the white wedding number. This is going to be important as we move through here. Okay, but 29 is that white wedding number, so that's very important to remember that. Because there's a reference going through this whole thing that revolves around this idea of balance and the white wedding in 29. So, let's back up. Let's go to the first character, which is Scott Adkins. Let's look at his birthday, 17th of June, which is 176 numerology, like 1776, and he's born in 76. This is quite interesting, like, you know, a reference back to the beginning of the United States again. But we're going to look at a number jump with him first. I think that's what I've got up here. No, I don't. I've actually got the release of the film. Anyway, we've got his number in the back of our mind. I'm going to show you two more numbers in here to keep in the back of our mind. So he's playing Killer. Then we've also got, I'll show you this guy, Mr. Nobody, because he's also in that scene where the first card, that first card cut to the neck happens. And this guy, all I'm going to say is he's in the film as a kind of, I don't know, they kind of switch backwards and forwards. This guy wants, at some point, wants to kill John Wick, and at another point is protecting him because he wants to, basically he's a bounty hunter and he wants to make more money, so he's inadvertently protecting him so he can make more money off of him, and then he ends up towards the end of the film helping him out. So there's this flip around with this character a little bit. Okay, but anyway, he is in that scene as well. He has, interestingly enough, May the 6th birthday, 1991. So we've got the 19 numerology on the year. But don't forget, we've been looking at Madonna with the Channel Tunnel, and the Channel Tunnel, the French Connection. Remember, this John Wick is in France. Very important as well. The French Connection is the Channel Tunnel, which was May the 6th, opened May the 6th, 1994. So he's got 3 years, born 3 years before the Channel Tunnel opens. So this is quite interesting with this character. Just fascinating that we've got that date coming up. And remember, Charlie Kirk has the turning point, excuse me, which is the opposite numbers here. So it's the 5th of June numbers instead of May the 6th. So that's kind of also interesting. And then let's just look at one more thing. We want the actual release date of the film, and we're just going to go with one release date here, 24th of March 23. So that's where we're going to head off, right? Okay, 24th of March 23 through to Charlie Kirk's death. Guess what? 901 days. Just read this number backwards. Okay, so if I read it backwards, I'm reading 1 first, then the 0, then the 9. Okay, 10-9. Okay, as you would write the English form of this. So we've already got the death date encoded here, but what's better than that is if I do this, guess what we've got? We have got Keanu Reeves' birthday, yeah, 9/2. So that's kind of fascinating as well. Anyway, let's move on. I'm about to get interrupted by my boys just got back. Okay, this is Keanu Reeves' birthday, through to the 10th to Charlie Kirk's death. 22289. 22289. Now this is fascinating because we've had a lot of 289 numbers showing up with I like this my we've got a lot of 289 numbers coming up with Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. So this is interesting. Well, I'll show you what this means in just a minute. But while we're on the topic of 289 numbers, I'm going to show you a couple more. This is the guy that's playing Killer right here, Scott. Check it out. To Keanu Reeves' birthday, 11 years, 289 days. That's fascinating. Doesn't end there. This is the dude playing Mr. Nobody. Let's just go back to him, just refresh. This guy. Okay. This guy, his birthday. Okay. Through to Charlie Kirk's birthday, 892. Okay. We're seeing a little bit of a pattern here. 298, 892. What is kind of interesting is that today's date is the 18th, and I just saw this today, so this is the 18th of October 2025. Check this out. Where the hell is it? Donald Trump's birthday through to the 18th, 28982. This is why I'm doing this decode today. Obviously you can get to the 19th with that as well. Click this end date off. Pretty fascinating stuff as well. The 298 stuff though, really where it comes from is what I was talking about earlier, is this connection with Charlie Kirk and the White Wedding with Charles and Diana. That was 44 years, 44 days before Charlie Kirk's death. Now remember, Charlie Kirk is Charles and the church Diana. Okay, Charles and Diana together. Right? That's the temple, that's where you go through the gateway to commune with God, yeah? Into the metaphysical. And what's interesting about this 44 is, don't forget, this building here is made up of 4 pillars on one side of the doorway and 4 pillars on the other side. 4 and 4, 44. Okay, adding up for our total of 8. But this 44 with this particular version of the clock tower, again, you know, if we split this up now, if we look to where the doorway in between 44 years and 44 days, let me show you the split up of that. So from the White Wedding to this year's White Wedding date, which is 7/29, okay, is 44 years. And then you go another 44 days and you'll get into Charlie Kirk's death. So that's the mirror point for Charlie Kirk's death, is this point in between here, which is the White Wedding date, which is when the two sides of reality come together. It's that waterfall that we just saw Keanu put his head through. Okay. Coincidentally, if you go from Charlie Kirk's birthday through to 7/29, it's 11611, a mirror, palindromic mirror number, balanced number again. Okay. Of course, I've shown you all this in old decodes, but the connection to the 289, sorry, is look at Donald Trump's birthday through to the White Wedding this year, 28900. Okay, so all these numbers, all these number jumps are all tying back in now with Donald Trump. It's numerology, just read it backwards or whatever way around you want to do it. 289, especially with the number 11 there. Okay, 289 numerology. Okay, absolutely insane. Right, to finish this off though, let me just show you something. And in fact, I'm just gonna tell you 2 more things here. This guy, Killer, happens to be named after a German rapper. Look at this guy. He's even got the Fight Club hat on here in this picture. But his birthday is March the 3rd, 73. Let's just look at something with that real quick. March the 3rd, 73 through to 729 again. Check it out. We've got Charlie Kirk's death and birth numbers here, the numerology right here. Let me just write it out for you. So you take that 19, I'm just going to put a 0 in there. Okay? And then we've got the 141. Yeah? And then we'll just stick another 0 on the end of that. Okay? So you've got the 2 dates, death and birth, right there. Super interesting that they picked to name that character, or name the name of that character is based off of this guy. Okay, slightly different. It's got an R in the actual films. Killer Haken. How do you say that? Whatever. Okay, so that was interesting. Carry on, Dan. Well, I did that guy's birthday through to today's date, you know, because that was our palindromic number for Donald Trump. Okay, let's see what we were there. 192. Yeah, remember the film? I just showed you the film numbers by including end date or not including end date. We were either at 109 or the other way around, 901 or 902. Okay, and this is the numerology we've got here. Yeah, just count the triples as a single. Okay. One more thing. Now, what's interesting about this whole thing is, let's just look at a number. Let's just look at one more set of numbers here with the 289 for Donald Trump. I'm going to move on and look where we're at. Okay. In fact, I want to do this. So So the first thing is, this shows up, right? This is again Charlie Kirk. You know, those numbers, that numerology there is Charlie Kirk again. We had 1 with a 0 in, 14. Birthday numbers for Charlie Kirk, the 114. We did that decode with the amp/speaker at the start of Back to the Future in that number. Right? But we can also do, let's get over this a minute. We can also do this. And now we're on the 5th of November. It'll be 1 year since winning the election on this day. Okay? This essentially is 1 year birthday, the 1. Okay? Neo, the 1. So not only that, but let's look what this leads into. So remember the 5th of November. That now leads into the white wedding number itself. 29. Yeah? On 116. Now remember, Charlie Kirk on the white wedding was 11611. Palindromic. Yeah? With the 116. Look at this. On that particular day, Donald Trump's going to be going to the white wedding number 29. Yeah? Keanu Reeves' birthday 92. Come on. The 1. Absolutely insane. I don't know if this means something might happen to Donald Trump, 5th to 6th. Maybe, I don't know. We've got to remember that the Hoover Dam date we're looking at is only a few more days on from that. We're looking at this number here. For the Hoover Dam, maybe this number. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Long enough. Okay, just more I mean, there's so much Charlie Kirk stuff. I don't know what else to say about it. Absolutely crazy. I suspect every time I put on a clip or a film or something now, I keep seeing Charlie Kirk stuff. It's absolutely nuts. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on another one soon. Right, cheers. Bye.